What's going on, guys? You know we love talking about the box office blockbusters, the tentpole movies, the behemoths. But today, we're gonna venture into some deeper, darker territory to talk about some movies that may not quite be on your radar in a segment we like to call The Best Movies That You've Never Seen, Volume 2. And we got a couple of cool fellas to talk about it with. First, you know him, you love him from around here at ScreenJunkies. He's also the host of Does It Hold Up? Welcome back to the show, Spencer Gilbert.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. And, oh man, I want to thank this guy for coming across the hall. You know him as the Movie Fights champion and the host of Dan's Labyrinth every Monday, Dan Merle.
Happy to be here, Hal.
So guys, let's talk about the thought processes behind this episode. We're not saying that these are movies no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, we're not going full hipster like this movie was only released in Belgium on vinyl. We're going like half hipster, like if you've heard of this, be proud of yourself.
There you go. So we each brought in a handful of films that meant something to us that we wanted to talk about. Let's jump in and start with Spencer. Tell us a movie that made your list.
My first pick is a film called Four Lions. You guys like comedy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Islamic terrorism?
No.
Well, the amazing thing about this movie and why I don't think it got heralded is it combined the two. This is a comedy about four guys in Britain that sneak off to join Al-Qaeda. It's a mockumentary. It doesn't sound funny. It's hilarious, and I argue that this does more to combat the appeal of terrorism than any Jack Bauer good guys versus the bad guys movie ever will. Because to me, it's so much more beautiful and poetic and effective to paint these guys as bumbling idiots than it is to paint them as the big evil force out to get us. These guys are hopeless, they're losers, and they act like it.
The way you're describing it, the producers does that a little bit, making fun of the Third Reich in World War II. Springtime for Hitler in Germany really pokes fun at something that otherwise might be really hard to laugh at. Dan?
Speaking of Nazis, my first movie is probably the most well-known out of my picks just because this is how great I think this movie is. Called The Rocketeer. It came out in 1991. Stars Billy Campbell as this guy named Cliff Secord who finds an experimental rocket pack and becomes this superhero, goes around on a rocket pack called The Rocketeer. Billy Campbell's great in it. Alan Arkin is in it. He's great. Very young Jennifer Connelly is in it and plays the girlfriend. She is great. And really, Timothy Dalton plays a guy called Neville Sinclair, who's a Hollywood star / Nazi spy. A great, literally mustache-twirling villain performance. The stakes are high. There's a great fight on a Zeppelin. Of course, they were made of hydrogen back then, so you can see where that's going. It's set in Hollywood, so it's like that kind of glitzy 1930s Hollywood glamour.
Sure, kid.
And it's that kind of original thing that people love with superhero movies that we don't get as much anymore. This is a very much revered film from my childhood, and it's something that I think people would still enjoy these days.
Yeah, superhero movie with a heart that'll, scratch that superhero itch. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
La La Land with jetpacks. Minus music.
Okay, I'll throw one out there. This is 2005's Rob Zombie horror actioner, The Devil's Rejects. It's super violent, it creates a world of its own, and it's got gore, and it's got gunplay, and it's got big cars, and it's got, chicks in it. It's really, it is a non-stop aggro thrill ride, and it's super bloody. And
How is that not on the poster?
Yeah, you're giving box quotes all over the
Thank
place.
you. But yeah, check out The Devil's Rejects.
What's the matter, kid? Don't you like clowns?
I haven't seen this, but I've heard people either saying like, "Oh my god, I love this movie," or "Oh my god, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen," which is great.
Yeah.
It's great for movies that are polarizing and challenge audiences like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Spencer, talk to us.
Okay, my second film is French. Wait, don't turn up. Don't turn up. No, it's good. It is a French action thriller. So the best way I can describe this, it's called Un Prophète, or A Prophet. It's a combination of The Godfather, Shawshank, and Crank. If you can get over the subtitles, you're in for a good time. It's about a teenager who goes into prison, hence the Shawshank. Most of it takes place in jail, caught between two warring prison gangs, both run by different mobs. And the Crank factor comes in is he's one of the only ones with outside privileges. So he gets to go outside a few days of the year, and he has to run these missions for the mob on this time limit while also attending to his life while he's outside of prison.
I want to see that movie after the way you've described it.
It's so awesome, but the subtitles are tough to get over, I know, but if you can do that and pay attention and not be on your phone and actually read what's happening.
Spencer, I watch movies because I hate reading.
Me too. I get that. But if you can get over that hump, it's great.
For sure. Dan, talk to us.
Well, last time I was on Screen Junkies, and every time I'm on Screen Junkies, I talked about Shattered Glass, which is one of my favorite movies. This is a movie from the same guy who wrote and directed Shattered Glass. His name is Billy Ray, and it's called Breach. And it's the story of a real-life FBI double agent, essentially. For years, he was feeding information to the Russians, the Soviet Union. And it's a really great political thriller, which I love, and kind of I love that tension of just like, we have to get the Palm, at the time it was the Palm Pilot, to get the data, it's very much of its time, because you had to, you have to distract him while we put bugs in his car. Yeah, exactly. Like you have that kind of tension, but more than anything, also, this was a great performance by Chris Cooper. And if you like political thrillers, if you like spy dramas, it is a great one of those, and it's a real-life story. There's so much tension in this movie, and I really like it.
I'll throw one out there. It's called Naked. It's a little bit of a depressing movie, but the central performance by David Thewlis, who's an actor you'll recognize.
He's Professor Lupin.
Oh, wow.
And Harry Potter.
Yes, absolutely. This performance, playing this kind of aimless vagabond wandering the streets of London in the middle of the night, if you like just philosophy and boozing.
Sounds like my freshman year of college. Philosophy and boozing.
It's the kind of movie you watch in college, and you're like, this movie's so deep.
It's a Boondock Saints.
A little bit, a little bit. It's a Boondock Saints without flamboyant Willem Dafoe. Sure.
There was a firefight!
That was a great moment right there.
Oh, wow.
Spenny G, throw us another.
Guys, let me take you back to 1986. A more innocent time. A time where developers were always looking to get one over on a small town, and the only way to fight back was with a BMX bike. I'm speaking, of course, of the movie Rad. Just the word rad. And that really tells you all you need to know. I mean, this movie is so pure 80s and has such good 80s music to it that it is one of the best examples of the form, and it's one of the best unintentional comedies of all time. If you think you've laughed before at intentional comedy, wait until you see him and his prom date slow dance, each of them on BMX bikes at the same time, circling each other, the passion increasing and the wheelies popping until they can't help themselves anymore. This movie is so rad.
It is definitely rad.
Yeah.
Dan.
Mine is a comedy. It's from 1984. When people think of the Zaz team, I'm talking about the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrahams, the guys that did Airplane. They think of Airplane in 1980. They think of Naked Gun in 1988. What they don't think of is the one in the middle. It's called Top Secret, 1984. Val Kilmer stars as Nick Rivers, who's basically Elvis, and he goes undercover in World War II to infiltrate the Nazis. And it is... Airplane's one of the greatest comedies ever made, and Naked Gun is up there too. I would put Top Secret, if not on the same level, just a peg below both of those movies as far as gags, as far as just genuine laughs. They have a whole scene that's in reverse, and you don't realize it's in reverse until halfway through it.
I have like little visual pictures in my mind, like picking up a giant phone.
The gags are just as stupid as the ones in Airplane and Naked
So
Gun,
stupid.
but just as funny.
Yes.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
For my next film, I wanted to talk about, let's get in like the way back machine and talk about a movie from 1946. What? My dad turned me on to a film called The Best Years of Our Lives. And it is one of the most thoughtful films about veterans returning home from war. And my dad, a veteran himself, really loved and appreciated this movie. Harold Russell was a veteran who actually lost his hands, and so his character has hooks for hands, and it just dealt with very real issues. This film just is a stark, beautiful look at what it's really like for people.
It definitely ahead of its time, yeah. Like it's like you were saying, for so many years, the only thing that you saw in the military, in the Hollywood of the military, was like, "Here's our boys, and coming home to my gal," and that was military service. So you came home a hero, and I don't think until the 70s really did they again delve into the reality of coming home.
Absolutely.
And what a veteran, being a veteran is like.
In the post-Vietnam era,
Yeah.
then you started to have films like The Deer Hunter and other
And
films.
Coming Home. And,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Absolutely worth checking out.
Okay, so my next pick is a film called Repo Man. And it's from the 80s. It's not that weird 2000 organ harvesting film Repo Man.
Okay.
This is a movie by director Alex Cox. It combines sci-fi, punk rock, and Emilio Estevez.
That's a pretty sweet combo.
Right? He's like this wayward punk rocker who needs a job, and he becomes a Repo Man, and he gets really into like repossessing people's things, but they repossess the wrong car. It's one with like an alien nuclear device in the back of it. It's surreal. It's funny. It's a commentary on consumerism and all the other punk rock things of the time. This movie is it reminds me so much of RoboCop. It just doesn't have a robot cop in it. It has Emilio Estevez.
Do you think it's too late for us to get romantically involved?
I think a little.
So if you're into any of those things, you definitely gotta check it out.
Good stuff, Spencer.
It's a good movie.
Dan?
My last one is a movie from 2000 that is actually, I am afraid, in actual danger of being forgotten. It's a movie that was written and directed by Rod Lurie. It's called The Contender. Joan Allen stars. She plays, basically the vice president has died. The president, played by Jeff Bridges, nominates her to be the vice president, and she has to go through her, basically, it's not confirmation hearing necessarily, but it's an advise and consent hearing that's led by Gary Oldman, who plays a real son of a bitch in this movie. And basically, they try to destroy her. They try to politically assassinate her in order to have somebody else take that spot.
So you're asking me to step down?
I'm asking you to do what's in the best interest of the party and this president.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
It was an Oscar-nominated movie. It was highly critically acclaimed when it came out, and it is in danger of completely disappearing because I had to find it recently, and I found that it is not on Blu-ray. It is out of print on DVD. You can't get it on iTunes. It's not streaming anywhere. It's not streaming on Netflix. Whoa. It's not streaming on Amazon. This movie is essentially, unless you're doing what I had to do, which is go to the library and check it out on DVD.
Wow.
You essentially cannot find this movie anywhere right now. And that's sad because I think that as we've gone through so many iterations of home media in the last 2 decades, I feel like there is a handful of movies like this that are going to get lost.
This is absolutely one of them, The Contender.
The Contender. Check it out. Check it out. Literally check it out from your local library until they find out a way to make it available.
Is this the first time Screen Junkies has ever sent people to the library?
I think it might be. It might be. Go to the library and check out The Contender.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. I want to thank you guys, especially for adding to my already long list of movies that I do need to watch. And I want to thank you. So, have you seen any of the movies that we talked about? Or are there any of your own hidden gems that you feel like people need to know more about? Let us know about these movies in the comments below. We want to know. I want to thank my good pals, Spencer Gilbert, Dan Merle. Thank you, fellas, for coming across the hall, and thanks for the great conversation. Thank you for watching. I'm Hal Rudnick. Hit me up on Twitter. Bye-bye. Hey guys, did you know that this end card works with your phone now? I know, right? Click the boxes below to watch more Screen Junkies videos, and click the Screen Junkies logo to subscribe and get this show, honest trailers, movie fights, and more.